Gather round, folks, because Young Miami just got hit with the ultimate Uno reverse card, and JT is having a ball making fun of her. So, Young Miami was recently named as Diddy's handler in a new lawsuit filed by a woman identified as Jane Doe. And y'all, the details are horrifying. Apparently, Young Miami force-fed this woman substances that made her black out during freak-off encounters with Diddy. And when she turned up pregnant, Miami allegedly harassed her and tried to force her to terminate it. It's suddenly starting to make sense why Miami was trying so hard to distance herself from Diddy when his homes got raided by the feds. She even pulled a disappearing act for a few months to try and lay low. But it looks like no matter how fast she runs, karma is always one step ahead of her. According to sources, Miami is about to face a federal indictment with charges related to Diddy's freak-off enterprise. And she's not about to slip away from this one easily because they have hard evidence against her. You know what's crazy though? JT has been trying to warn Miami to stay away from Diddy for years, but she thought JT was just trying to bring her down, and she cut her off. There had been signs for a long time that the city girls weren't cool with each other anymore, but their issues reached a boiling point when they got into a back and forth on Twitter a while back and aired each other's business. Miami was basically accusing JT of being jealous of her and sneak dissing her, but JT felt she was just being shady. Miami said, "For you to come on here and try to play victim is crazy. Jatavia, you been sneak dissing me for the last couple of days. I haven't said ish back to you. You made 2 whole songs dissing me, and I still repped your ish with my chest and showed love. So what's the real problem here?" JT seemed confused by what Miami was saying though, so she responded with, "Girl, the internet told you that. Which songs was about you? The one saying it's city girl-ish even when it ain't city girl-ish that was released under City Girls, or the one that say riding solo but I'm still in a group? Get your phone back from whoever this is, baby. Don't play with me." Young Miami said the songs were where she believed JT was sneak dissing her were No Bars and Sideways, but JT wasn't having it. She fired back saying, "Oh wow, you're really losing it. If you thought this, why not speak to me about it? You came on here and said LOL, so people can ask you why you wasn't defending me. Attention seeking, as usual." However, Miami doubled down and said, "A B trying to kick me while I'm down and play into these narratives is dangerous when I've been nothing but a friend to you. You let the internet put it in your head that I'm jealous of you when you know I'm the one that always pushed us. You have resentment towards me, and that's okay." It was pretty clear at this point that JT and Miami had some pretty serious issues going on, but then it got messier when JT said, "I know I come off crazy, but never in my life did no whack ish to this girl. She literally enjoys seeing me being dragged. When people show me love, she goes crazy and call it hate train. But like I said, we can sit and talk about it. It'll be too much for me to tweet. I would like a sit down. Carisha, please. And this time, leave Santana home." JT later tried to make it seem like everything was cool between them, even though they were no longer together as city girls. She said, "I think it made sense for both of us, and it was no hard feelings. I'm like Tina Turner. I'm still a city girl. I need my name. That's the biggest thing about me. I can't ever get away from being a city girl. It just made so much sense for both of us in the direction that we were going and things that we were focusing on. There wasn't no hard feelings about it. It was just like we saw it coming." However, Miami didn't really feel the same way. When she sat with Saucy Santana for an interview on her podcast, Carisha Please, she revealed that there was no more chemistry between her and JT because they had so many unresolved issues between them. So it didn't make sense for either of them to continue together. Miami also spilled the tea about how JT never called her even when she was going through it with the Diddy allegations. Yes, they had their issues, but Miami felt that JT should have at least put their differences aside and checked up on her, even for old time's sake.
We gotta learn from our mistakes, and life is a lesson. And I feel like the people that I thought that would be in my corner, or that are like, when I was going through this shit, nobody called me. Nobody called me to see how I was doing. Like, people was really like, you thought.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets interesting. After that interview, JT's fans were dragging Young Miami because they felt Miami just wanted to continue using JT as a doormat like she always tried to. See, JT always saw through Diddy and the whole brother love thing he used to fool everyone with. But Miami, she was swept into that glittery and shiny lifestyle Diddy dangled in her face. So much so that she started feeling like she didn't need JT or the city girls any longer. I mean, she really believed Diddy was going to be in her corner forever. And she always made it clear that she was down to do whatever Diddy wanted to prove her loyalty to him. Remember when she said she was into golden showers because Diddy apparently liked that sort of thing? Yeah, well, apparently, Young Miami was doing much more than just being freaky for Diddy. She was also allegedly a handler. And according to Jaguar Wright, Miami enjoyed.
Now I see how Young Miami can take all that pressure. She on the 2C.
They be thinking these is over here like killing the game. They don't feel nothing. That's why they do it. Okay?
Young Miami put out a tweet a while back and basically was into it with, I guess, one of Diddy's other women.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically said, if I wanted you to eat my cat, Diddy would have had you on your knees by now.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that was really like her telling on herself before she knew things were going to hit the fan?
No,
like
I think that was her being herself because she's a dumb.
Damn.
I think she was just telling the truth because it's almost as rough as Nicki Minaj with females out here. I hear she lace front all the time. Snatching up and throwing them in her nasty ass twat. Like when I think of the title of her show, I'm like, is that what your victims be saying? Carisha, please?
Oh, man. Damn. Okay.
Please, Carisha, stop, Carisha, please.
So you're saying that Carisha is...
She's a predator no different than Nicki Minaj.
Hey.
She likes that shit. That turns her on. Wild bitch. And her in the sexy red and the Sukianas and all this shit. The saucy Santanas. The whole lot of them. Got sadist. I know a Punisher when I see one. I was a Punisher one time in my life. You know, it takes one to know one. And I used to be hard on
doing it too. Lil Rod basically confirmed that Miami was Diddy's handler in his lawsuit, where he accused her of being his mule for illegal substances and also being a paid ex-worker on his roster. The court documents read, Plaintiff Jones witnessed Mr. Combs do a few lines of candy in his dressing room. Defendant Sean Combs wanted Tucci, but Brendan forgot it, so defendant Christina Coram called Young Miami, who then brought it on the private jet from Miami. Fast forward to September 27th, and Young Miami got implicated in another lawsuit that accused her of helping drug and assault a woman identified as Jane Doe. According to the lawsuit, Diddy took advantage of Jane Doe at intervals between the fall of 2020 and July of this year, 4 months after Homeland Security raided his houses. It all started when Jane Doe got invited to an overseas trip by Diddy, which she accepted. Next thing she knew, she was being forced to ingest an unknown substance that turned out to be ketamine and or other substances. These things made her blackout and lose consciousness, and while she was in this state, Diddy would allegedly have his way with her without her consent. Sometimes Jane Doe would wake up with strange bruises all over her body that she couldn't remember getting. Jane Doe found out she was pregnant after one of these encounters, and her life basically turned upside down at that point because Young Miami started threatening her and trying to force her to get rid of the pregnancy. According to the lawsuit, Jane Doe eventually lost her baby to a miscarriage, likely due to the stress she was going through with Diddy and Young Miami. However, even after going through that traumatic experience, Diddy allegedly kept pressuring her to travel with him, and when she refused, he would harass her through text messages, calls, and third parties until she agreed. But then she would end up being forced to consume alcohol and substances till she passed out, waking up the next day with no memory of what happened the previous night. Diddy also allegedly had her monitored, followed, and threatened with violence. The lawsuit claims he forced Jane Doe to engage in encounters with other men and women, and these encounters were recorded even when she clearly said she didn't want them recorded. As crazy as this sounds, Cassie also claimed to have gone through the same thing with Diddy in her lawsuit. According to Cassie, Diddy used to record the freak-offs he forced her to participate in without her consent. Even when she deleted them, Diddy would somehow retrieve them and make her watch just so she could know he could get the tapes anytime he wanted. Oh, and he also used to share them with his friends. Truly sick and disgusting. Anyway, back to the latest lawsuit. Rumors have started circulating that the Jane Doe in the lawsuit could be one of Diddy's exes, Gina. Some of the things described in the lawsuit sound similar to what Young Miami told Gina when they were going at each other on Twitter a few months back. Miami told Gina, "If I wanted you to eat my cat, Diddy would have had you on your knees, B. You a eater. B, you a munch. Gina, you been down bad ever since I came into the picture, ho. You been crying for a baby for 10 years. You been around as a B that eat cat and D when he feel like it. You a eater. You the same B that was crying on Tasha K cause you wanted a baby. Poor sushi. You want a baby, B? I have a career. You a certified freak. You haven't heard from Diddy since the awards, reminiscing on terminations. Let that hurt go, Chun-Li. If Gina really is the Jane Doe, then it would make sense that she's coming out now because she had previously talked about Diddy being violent with her. In fact, DJ Academics previously mentioned Gina in a live stream where he outrightly called Miami Diddy's handler, comparing her to Jeffrey Epstein's Ghislaine Maxwell. A lot of people seem to agree with this, like this person who said,
So anyway, in 2021, you hear Carisha Maxwell says she's on a private island with Diddy, and of course she got this face. You know what this face is. So I said, man, I told y'all, them freak offs must have been facilitated by Carisha Maxwell. Now, let's get to these goddamn tweets. So like back in 2022, December 13th, we had Young Miami who was beefing with Young Gina, whatever her name is, saying that if I wanted you to eat my Diddy would have, and this is the important part, Diddy would have. If I wanted you to do A, Diddy would have done B. Diddy would have had you on your knees, ho. You're a eater, okay? Then she also said, Gina, you've been down bad ever since I came into the picture. Which, by the way, salute to her for low self-esteem. You know, they all know that pretty much they ain't shit. Ever since I came into the picture, you've been crying for a baby for 10 years. You've been around as a bitch that eat and when you feel like you're an eater. You the same bitch that was crying on Tasha K. Okay? Now, here's... Just gotta remind y'all once again. Here we go.
She called that girl a eater. She was an eater also. Talking about he want to sponsor Act Bad. Ain't no telling what she was doing with the diddler. This person also put Miami on blast, saying, well, she made her bed and laid right into the mess. She'll do anything for coins. Diddy didn't want her. He saw she was gullible and easy. I hope she doesn't lose her kids. But now I want to know your thoughts. Did Young Miami really betray JT for Diddy? And is she about to face the same fate Diddy is currently facing? Comment down below and be sure to check out this next video.